All right, we're back. Sort of Sports Podcast, episode 138. And Quinn, it's what, a 4-year anniversary of the Big Salad? I think the first episode we ever did was
Gotta be.
2021, and haven't done the Big Salad in a while.
Look,
Not being able to drive over has made it so we don't do Big Salad. But
I
I had to bring you on for March Madness. You're a big March
yes,
Madness guy.
I appreciate you bringing me back as a guest star to be on the Sort of Sports podcast, and it's going to be a great time talking about these games that are going to be happening the next 3 weeks.
I don't know. I'm very excited. I think we're gearing up for a good March Madness. Last year was a little disappointing because you have it where everybody was picking UConn, and it sucks when the team that everybody's picking does win. And Purdue and UConn were like the two boring picks last year, and then it was that in the national championship. I feel like that was just
Right,
disappointing.
right.
I mean, we'll get into it in a bit, but like I know Florida's like the cop out pick, and I don't think Florida's winning the national championship. Do you think Florida's winning the national championship?
Um, didn't really know how good they were until they got selected to be a number one seed.
Okay, not a lot of SEC ball up in the Masako
Well,
house.
I mean, I kept pace with Kentucky and Tennessee and all them, but I didn't know that Florida was that good. Oh, and Auburn, obviously.
Yeah.
Florida was that good enough to be a number one seed. So that is intriguing to say the least.
All right, now Quinn, both of us pretty big on women's college hoops. You especially. You know even more than I do. So we got to start with women's hoops. Looking at the bracket, what do you see a few days out? Like what teams are looking to be upset teams in your mind?
Okay, well, I am looking, and I will say, just for people that don't know about the women's tournament, it is different than the men's, as in when it comes to locations, because the top four seeds in each region are the ones that host the first and second rounds, and then when it gets to the regionals, which are Sweet 16, Elite Eight games, they only go to two cities now instead of four different ones. So two regionals will go to one, which I believe is Spokane, and two regionals will go to the other, and I don't know what that other city is. It's typically Bridgeport, but I don't know what it is. So I'd have to refer to that. Well, when I'm looking down in the brackets, you know, uh, I think when I look down to the fourth regional, which is the bottom left corner, I am looking at Florida Gulf Coast as an upset there over Oklahoma in the first round.
Oh, a
So
little 14-3 action.
Yes, and I think they have won, I believe, the last 2 years they've won in the first round. So I am picking FGCU to take that game. And then dropping down right below them, I'm going to take the Jackrabbits of South Dakota State, excuse me, to beat the Cowgirls of Oklahoma State. So those are two of my upsets, and they're right there next door to each other in the same region.
I'm with you on South Dakota State. We were talking about it a little bit before we started recording. I guess I should also say it's the first ever video sort of sports
Yes,
podcast. We decided this would be a
yes.
good time. I was like, I don't feel like there's a great reason for me to just set up a camera and me just sit here. But when I have
True.
somebody on, it makes more sense to do a
But now
video.
this is your face reveal. People don't know who you
Hell
are.
yeah, it's true. I
I mean,
mean, I think the
it's
face reveal was the when I was on the bar stool and all that, probably more
yeah.
so. But because I was
Yes.
like, I tweeted out and I was like, yeah, that's me. So I think that would be for my like 60
Right.
subscribers. Yeah,
Right. I would hope they would understand that.
yeah, they
Yes.
put that together. But it always makes me laugh because I've been getting like I get like about 30 views about on the YouTube videos, and I continually keep asking them like, if you're someone that doesn't know me personally and you listen to this podcast, like why? Like I'm curious what really drove your interest, and no one's commented back. I'm waiting to hear. So
Right. Well,
maybe
and
the
I had
video
switched
podcast will
over.
pressure them.
I used to listen through YouTube, and then I switched over when you started adding it onto Apple Podcasts because that was easier. Didn't drain my phone as much, and when the phone was in my pocket, because I usually listen to you while I was mowing, and then I'd be pausing or getting off of YouTube, whatever. So now it's just easier for me to get on Apple Podcasts, and I boost your metrics there
Now
instead.
you just gave me a great endorsement. You were like, I prefer the Apple podcast. It's great. You can put the
Right.
podcast. You just get a great endorsement of it. That was very kind.
Yes. Yes.
But anyways, I like South Dakota State too. I just like, I mean, it's just fun because it's Jackrabbits, right? Like that's just fun.
Yes.
And
Yes.
then it's also one of those. I feel like in the first round you can pick little upsets like that. You just can't get too attached. I always feel like both men's and women's, you don't want to get too attached to your upsets. Like
No.
if you, they're probably not going to make it to the Sweet 16. Like
Mm,
just they win first round, cut them. That's it's kind of my and I always think the Elite Eight to me is always feels like when we separate, the women from the girls, the men from the boys. The
Hmm.
Elite Eight to me is the cutoff of you had a good run. And I always think about making my brackets is like if it's a team that I feel like I overextended, I'm like, all right, Elite Eight, that's the
Right,
cutoff. Kind of like
right.
in Louisville and men's we'll talk about later. I like their team, but I can't put them past the Elite Eight. Like you just got to cut.
Okay. Don't
So
even didn't even think they were really that good. So all right.
I always like the haven't been in the tournament in X amount of years graphic. To me, that's
Well,
always good. I always
wonder
think
why. All their violations they had there.
that's true. And I mean, that's true. Rick Pitino's been getting a lot of love on television.
Yes, he has.
I
I
I
mean,
think it's really funny because if they win the national championship, there's gonna be some heavy revisionist history. Like they're gonna be like one of the greatest coaches of all time.
right.
Like which I do think Pitino is one of the great coaches ever. But I don't. I'm concerned if they win the national championship, they're gonna put him up with like Dean Smith, John Wooden, Coach K, and I think he's like the level right below that. Would you agree
Well,
with this?
but I would say, I mean, my counter is going to be he's going to be the only person ever to bring, to take three schools to and win a championship, even though one was vacated. So,
It's
I
true.
mean, on top of that, and he's went to the Final Four with, I believe, four different schools: Providence, Kentucky, Louisville, and if he gets there with St. John's. So, I mean,
Fair points. Maybe
pretty high.
maybe it's not
It's pretty high
revisionist.
company. It's pretty high
Yeah.
company
Would
to
you
be
put him
in.
up there with like the greatest coaches of all time if he can get it done?
No, because he had those violations. So why would I
Yeah,
support
hold
that?
that against him.
Yes, a little legal and ethical clearance, I think you have to be if
Yeah,
you're going to be an all-time great. I mean, come on, look
yeah,
at John Wooden. He wasn't doing anything criminal,
it's true.
and he won plenty of championships. 10,
I
11,
yeah, 10, 10. I think 10, right?
10.
10 sounds right. I mean, your guy Izzo's got a chance to really be a cemented all
If
time.
he could win another championship, it'd be nice.
It would be nice. All right, we'll get back to the women's picks. As far as upsets, I look at the big one for me in my women's bracket is we talk about I like that haven't made the tournament X amount of time. How about this one? Grand Canyon has not made the tournament in program history. It's first
Okay,
time ever. Haven't
first
lost a
time.
game since Oregon back in October.
All right.
So I'm just saying, like that's a good vibes team. They won their conference, got the auto bid in.
Mhm.
They're a 13 seed facing Old Miss first round. Now, granted, after that they play UCLA. I have UCLA beating them. You and I have talked before. I think we're in agreement that UCLA is one of the best teams, if not the best. Which I
Yes.
mean, obviously, number one seed. I think, and we can talk about it more in a bit, but to me, if you were just saying blind ranking these teams who I think is the best, I think UCLA and UConn are my top two. South Carolina's three for me.
Okay. Grand Canyon plays Baylor.
Oh, yes, my bad. Sorry. Good fix. If they
You're
play
going
Ole
to
Miss
take
second
them to the
round.
Sweet 16. You're going to take them to the Sweet 16? That's
Good.
UCLA when they play them.
You're right. I was looking at it on like when like you summarize it on the ESPN app, and I wasn't thinking about that I couldn't see the first round matchup.
Oh, okay.
But,
Got
it
it.
just shows the winner.
Yep.
Good call. Good catch. Am I really going to take the Sweet 16? I mean, how good do you think Ole Miss is?
Well, I'm looking at them right now if I can find where they're at on this in the standings. They were 10 and 6 in the SEC, 20 and 10 overall, so I'm not saying they're spectacular.
The thing is of Grand Canyon, right, is they have like an absurd record, 32 and 2. And that last loss, like I said, was
Now they got to play Baylor, who's 27 and 7 to start. Let's get there first. I'm just putting it out there.
okay.
27 and
Okay.
7.
They
Friday at 3:30 is the showdown. Baylor's favored by 15 and a half. I'm willing to take Grand Canyon to cover already.
Yeah, see? I mean, their last loss, I said October, I was wrong. It was November.
Right.
Oregon Ducks, November, 70 to 54. Not the strongest, not the strongest. I must have been 16-point loss. But since then, they haven't lost a game. And I mean, they're not playing obviously top level schools. I understand that. But I mean, they have some wins over some larger D1s. They beat Arizona in Arizona. I just think, to me, it's a fun pick. Never made the tournament, first time there. Coach that's probably going to be moving on to bigger things next year. Rumors that she might get the Missouri job or something. So,
Hmm.
yeah, I just think it's a fun pick. Also, like, you see their ads on YouTube all the time. So I feel like I'm like subconsciously trying to
Yeah.
push
Yeah.
Grand Canyon, you know?
Right. And I mean, come on, they are a team that won 32 games, no matter what the competition is. 32 games is pretty respectable.
I also think when you start winning that much, you just kind of get in the idea of like, we're really good. And it's
Right. And you're
like
winning all the time.
we're winning all like how are
It's
we
just
not going
something
to beat
that catches
Baylor?
fire right there.
Yes, exactly. So you know what? Screw it. I'm putting him to the Sweet 16. I'm gonna take
Oh,
him
look at
over
you
Ole Miss
already.
too. I'm just getting excited. You know,
Lions in already.
I'm
Grand
all
Canyon
in, baby. I'm all
gonna be
in.
champions by the time it's over.
Oh yeah, really talk myself into it. Trying to look
Oh.
through, make sure. I don't really think I have that many other upsets when I look
I will
around.
say I should go back to that regional four in the bottom left because I forgot I wanted to look at the top half of that, and I'm interested in both Fairfield and Liberty. I don't know if I want to take both of them to upset, but I think those are intriguing matchups against Kentucky and Kansas State. And it seems like regional four for me is upset central right now when it comes to the women's bracket. But I am tempted, and I won't do it. But
That
I am
Grand
tempted.
Canyon University beat Liberty. Just want to make sure that's stated.
Ooh, okay, I like that. That's a good
There you
note.
go. It's
Oh,
good
and I
to
also want to say John Wooden won 10 championships. Just want to add that
Okay.
up.
It was
That up.
so it was 10.
So then, but if you go to the third regional across to the bottom right, I really like Stephen F. Austin, but I am not confident enough to take them over Notre Dame. If they were playing somebody else, I would definitely take them. But I don't want to do that. And I don't, I mean, I know that Notre Dame has really struggled when they ended the season, and but Hannah Hidalgo and Olivia Miles will get them rolling again for the tournament, as far as I'm concerned.
I
But
think Notre Dame's so good. Like if you're gonna pick a team that isn't a top two seed to win the national championship, to me that's the pick.
and who did they win the conference championship there? I mean, for the tournament.
For the ACC,
Yes, for the ACC. I was looking, and I'm trying to. I'm
believe did they do a tournament, right?
Duke won it over NC State. No, Notre Dame lost to Duke. So there you go. So that makes it even more intriguing. I think, and see, Notre Dame's kind of on a downtrend. I just don't want to knock them out yet that early.
Yeah, I just think about during the season, I remember you and I talking like this Notre Dame team's really good. So I just
They
think
beat Connecticut right out of the gate, and
that's what I'm saying. Like I just it's hard for me to decide to take them out. But I mean that region to me is really interesting because like people are high on Texas. I'm not.
right,
People are.
right.
TCU, I do think is good, legitimately. Um,
I mean, they got Sedona Prince, even though she's very controversial, which I have not
yes.
really read into those.
I haven't either. I've just
I'm
never
gonna
heard
need
anything good.
right. I know.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
all TikTok says is that she'll be thrown in jail after the tournaments.
Yeah, that's what everybody says. Well, maybe they're
I
right. I don't know. I
I don't
don't
know
know.
either. I believe it's domestic violence against her former girlfriend.
Oh
So
my.
that's
Yeah.
the those are the allegations. But anyway,
All right. Well,
it's
then
not
they've
what.
got we talked last year. We knew Van Lith would pop off once she went to a different team and different system. She got to
Yep.
be back to doing her usual, I'm going to go score about 17 a game, which is what she's
Yep.
doing. And
Yes.
then what I also like in that region is I think Ohio State's good, Q. It's a good team.
I think they
Undefeated
can
at home.
definitely. I think they can make it to. Um,
Sweet 16 Elite Eight, I think is the peak.
I think they can make it to the Sweet 16. Yeah, because they also, if they win again, they get to play at home against Tennessee. So that's gonna
That's and they're
be tough.
undefeated at home.
There you go. There you go.
There you go. So that
Good
factors.
enough. Yes. So I'll be interested to see, what I mean, that would be what day is that? Let's see. They play the 21st, which is Friday, correct? So they would play Sunday.
Yeah, little Sunday
That's
game.
tempting. That's real tempting to go to because it's just
That'd be
right
a
in
good
front.
game.
Be a good game to go to.
Be a good
So
game.
I
See
have
Tennessee, just a great program, obviously.
right, exactly. Now Michigan State, if they, well, I know we're talking about men's, but men's Michigan State wins on Friday. They play Sunday, so I got to budget my time well. But
Would they play in Cleveland Sunday too, right?
yes, they'll play in Cleveland on Sunday.
Did you think
Yeah.
about going up?
Oh, I thought about maybe I would have been more tempted Friday, but obviously
Me too, but then we both have plans
my
Friday.
work schedule, yes, my
Yeah.
work schedule is not where it is favorably, so it doesn't matter. We'll see. Plus, I really will say, and yes, I enjoyed it when I watched them play Marquette 2 years ago at Nationwide. It's not the same. I'd rather just be at home because I got to watch all the games.
Yeah, it's
Maybe
not
it
like when you go to
just
like
a
you go to an
one-off.
NBA game, you're just going to NBA. Like with
Right,
March
right.
Madness, you part of the enjoyment is sitting there. I would say the Saturday, the first week Saturday is the best day of March Madness. You wake up, you kind of do whatever, and then lunchtime on, there's games on all day.
Oh yes, I mean yeah, that first weekend, Thursday through Sunday,
It's
I
peak.
love it.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's the best.
I mean I'm off Monday, so I'll get to catch the second day of women's second round also all day too. But it's so it just and I mean if I was just going up for a standalone regular season Michigan State game, okay, different scenario. But
Yeah.
no, it's not.
Part of the fun of March Madness is watching everything and being like, oh, this game's getting close. I got to switch. And
Right, exactly.
I get it.
Ex-
All right.
So
Okay. So let's talk a lot about different teams. Who would you say is your champion? I think you and I probably have the same here.
well, I'm too biased to my own team, but I do want I would like to take Connecticut,
Hmm.
and I never bet against Gino, but they have to get through USC in the Elite Eight because they've already played USC, and USC beat UConn
Yep.
in the regular season. And obviously, they set up again to be another Juju Page showdown
Yeah.
there. And USC is not happy. Lindsey Gottlieb is not happy that they got stuck with UConn being the 2 seed in their brackets. So I'm going to tell you that I will definitely take Connecticut to get to the Final Four. Um, I think UCLA is going to run that top regional.
Me too.
Now, I don't know who's going to take uh, Regional 2 with South Carolina as the 1 seed because South Carolina had been skidding and now they won the SEC tournament, so they're hot again.
Yep.
And I mean, Don Staley has definitely led that team the last few years to championships. So I don't know if I'm going to go with them or not. Regional 3 is a mess because I don't trust Texas at all. I just
Yep.
don't.
I'm not big on Texas either.
I'm not that confident in Ohio State making it to the Final Four, and Notre Dame's shaky. So I think I might just have to take TCU out
That's
of
what I did
that,
out of there.
that bracket. And I think I probably will stick with my guns to South Carolina in their regional. I mean, Duke's hot too. They won the ACC tournament, but
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna take them. And then as far as it goes championship wise, I'm going to take the underdogs TCU into the championship against UCLA, and I'm going to have UCLA win.
Okay. Wow. All right. All right, Q. Okay. So
Yeah.
that final four is UCLA, and then you can't
Yes.
decide between USC, UConn.
No, I'm taking Connecticut.
You're taking Connecticut, but
I'm
you think
taking
UCLA beats Connecticut,
uh, in the regular season they did.
and you're saying it's going to happen again.
No, I'm saying Connecticut's winning this time.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
So in the national championship, it's UConn.
No, in the national championship, it's UCLA.
So, but UCLA's beating UConn in the final four. That's what I'm saying.
Yes,
Okay.
and UConn's beating USC in the Elite
Yep.
Eight.
Yep. I'm putting it together now.
Yep, yep.
So then the other final four teams, South Carolina. You know, the one I kind of liked out of Region Two was Maryland. I thought
They're
Maryland was
intriguing.
interesting,
They're
but like
intriguing.
I'm not intrigued enough to pick it.
Yeah.
So my final four, I also have UCLA, UConn. I believe UConn will beat USC. USC does have a thing I like. I like that they lost in the Big Ten tournament, kind of like Michigan State, a little piss you off loss.
Right, right.
That's always
And
I kind of
it
like that.
was pretty hard for them to beat UCLA again anyway, because A, rival, B, 3 times in the season, hard to beat
Hmm.
somebody. So
Yeah.
that's how it is. But
And so then my
hey,
final four is what's up?
that was a really good game to watch
Yeah.
because USC had the lead for most of the first half, and in the third quarter, just things just switched over after UCLA took a timeout about halfway through, and then they basically controlled the rest of the game. I wouldn't say dominated, but they controlled the rest of the game.
My final four, UCLA, UConn, South Carolina, TCU in the national championship. I got UConn over South Carolina.
Okay, which Connecticut did blow out South Carolina earlier this year. I'm
Hmm.
not saying that would be replicated in the national championship, though.
But I honestly think, I don't know. The more and more I think about it, the more and more I kind of think it's UCLA's year. Like it just kind of feels right.
Right.
But we'll see. All right, that's it for women's. Let's switch over to the men's side of things.
Men's side.
So I got a lot of upset picks for the men's, to the surprise of nobody. As you know me, I always think when it comes to bracket making, right? if you're thinking about taking the upset, you should just go for it. Like, am I
Oh,
wrong?
yes, I agree. I agree. And I disappeared to blow my nose right there. But anyway, yes, take the upset. Why not? I
Yeah,
mean,
no,
and it
why not?
happens more often in men's. I think the parity is definitely a little more there in men's than there is in women's when it comes to the sport.
No, I 100% agree. I mean, and that's I don't know. I just think it's more interesting and more fun that way. So I'm just like, I think that's the move.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
But all right. So I gotta adjust something real quick. There we go. All right. Looks like we're good. Okay. So men's upsets Q. We'll go back and forth here. What's the first one you'd
Okay.
like to tell me?
Well, I'm going to start off in the South Regional right there in the top left. And I've got three, four potentially, I think, in that one. Because I let's like these teams. First of all, I want to take UC San Diego over Michigan, and
Oh, okay.
not because I'm a
Woo.
Michigan hater.
Starting
I
off
hate
spicy.
Michigan. But what I'm saying is that I don't trust Michigan, even though they won the Big Ten tournament. I don't think they're that good, honestly, and I'll be interested to see if what Dusty May brings there to that game.
Okay. Interesting. I think Dusty May's a good coach. I
I
like the
think he's a
Michigan
good
team.
coach. I just
No, I get it. I mean, I
I
know
think they're
that
trustable.
people are in on UC San Diego.
Yes, and I don't know what conference they're from or anything, but
I mean, it might tell me here. No, I don't know. Big
oh,
West. Big
oh,
West.
okay.
All right. I got Michigan all the way to the Elite Eight. I think it's a team that's hot right now. I think it's a team that's got momentum. They also have like what, two seven guys over 7 foot, and that's always a good thing for a team.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting. It's very a little more old school when it comes to playing because you don't have anybody because you're playing bigger than most teams play
Yeah.
nowadays. I mean, most don't have, two probably could be true centers out there if you wanted to. I mean, Wolf doesn't play. Wolf plays definitely more like a forward, outside in versus Golden inside out. So, um, Michigan won that skid in the regular season. They were able to pick it up and put it together for the Big Ten tournament. I mean, obviously they can win. This is a Thursday matchup at 10 o'clock at night, so that's what kind of throws you off a little bit if you're Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, well, I'm interested to see how that's gonna pair out. And it's just intriguing from UC San Diego's perspective because I believe they've won 30 games. Yep, they're 30-4, winning their conference regular season and tournament titles. So I'm willing to take the chance on them to
I
start
was also
off.
going to say the first game of March Madness being Louisville Creighton. Like
Which is
they
always what they do. They always
I
do.
know.
They are at 7-10 to start off March Madness.
Perfect. Because they love to drop the graphic that's like after the first game, 60% of graphics, I mean, brackets
Yes.
perfect. Like they love dropping that to be
Yes.
like, boom, mic drop. That's
Yeah.
it's their favorite.
And I will say, and I'm going to add, here I am taking another plug for a corporation this time, though.
Okay.
That I mean, used to have DirecTV, and I
Hmm.
do the picture in picture, and I flip back and forth and all that. But it's so much better now with YouTube TV because you get the split screen between all four that go on at the same time. So that's what I do. I will turn that on at noon. I'll start off with the first one, then when the second one goes,
It
I'll
just
get
pops
to
up.
split screen, and
Wow. Okay.
then I'll go to the third one, and then it'll be two up and one down, and then we'll get the fourth one going, then it'll be all four going, and then that's how it is until you get to that dinner break that happens, and then when the dinner break happens, you go back up and you start all over again. You go to one, and then two, and then three, and then four, and that's how it is.
Is the audio whatever the remote's on? Is that how that works?
Correct. Yeah, there's the white box will go around whichever section of the screen, the game that you want to listen to, and then I just switch it over as we go to
Yeah.
commercials
No,
and
no,
all that.
that's good. I understand. That's a good setup. You know for a fact my father would hate that. Too much going on. Trying to
And
watch.
I like to be overstimulated, so
He
I
would
will take it.
oh
I will
my
take
gosh,
it.
he would not
No,
enjoy that.
no.
That's funny though. Yeah, I mean, if YouTube TV wants to give us the sponsor,
Oh
that'd be
yes, let's
great.
advocate. Let's advocate. Yeah, the first games of the day. I'm just looking at it just to before we go on about upsets. It's Creighton, Louisville, High Point, Purdue, Montana, Wisconsin. So I think those can be
Those can all
three.
be games.
It can all be games. It's all intriguing. And then Houston plays it too, so they're not going to be anything. But
No,
so,
you're
and then
right.
the yeah. So then the after dinner shift starts at 6:50, which I always love that shift because then it's four back to back to back to back practically. There's not as many breaks. It's 6:50, 7:10, 7:25, 7:35. Because when you start out the day, it's 12:15, at 12:40, 1:30, 2 o'clock. So it takes you almost 2 hours just to
Yeah,
actually
it takes a
get
bit.
all four locations going instead. So
The night's way better. But I think it's designed on purpose. People are at work and they want the money from the viewership. I think
right.
it's
And actually, it goes back too because, CBS is typically the one that starts it off
hmm
for the day. I'm pretty sure they do. Yep. And then they come back in and they're the last ones to start at, oh, no, they're at 7:10. So that means they're not doing the evening news probably. So then they
Oh,
come in after it's 7 and then
yeah.
go on with that. So that's it. So there's my TV plug for YouTube TV. I
There you
will,
go.
even though I hate the streaming and I'd rather have channel numbers with DirecTV, I will say this is one perk that I can't give up is the split screen. I do the same thing for Sunday Ticket. I got a split
My
screen for
only problem with that though is when you do the streaming is you lose the recall button.
this is true.
And there's nothing better than out commercial, pick one button instant. Because on the streaming, even if they invented like a recall button, it would
Yes.
take a minute to buffer and it wouldn't
Yes.
be the same. Whereas with
What?
cable, I just boom, instant. Like
Right.
that's the peak of the
Right.
cable right there. Is that
Right.
you have the peak of the streaming is a split screen, but the peak of the cable is the recall. It's
Yes.
just
Yes. And you can't, I mean, you can still recall 15 seconds, but like you said, it takes longer for that to happen because if the internet's not loading and it might
yep, yep,
just all about the buffering and all that. So,
yep.
but anyway, enough of that. So I will turn it over. I'll give you the floor. You can say your first upset for the men's tournament.
First upset for the men's tournament. We'll keep it in that region. We'll kind of go by region. Sound good?
Yes,
All
that's
right, we'll
fine.
keep it that region. I think this is one most people have. I'm gonna roll with that. My only big upset in that top region, the South region, I got New Mexico over Marquette. Jokingly tweeted out we could get Rick Pitino coaching against his son in the Final Four if St. John's and New Mexico both have a big
I'll take
year.
it. I'll take it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I really don't see that. But I mean, New Mexico, this is a team that I think everybody likes to pick. They went 26-7. Mountain West team. They play up tempo. I mean, New Mexico's been a favorite to be an upset team for a couple of years now. I think it's their second or third year being like this. And I don't think they pulled it off last time. I'm sure I'm remembering correctly, but they always seemed like a spicy pick. And the thing with Marquette is obviously their best player getting hurt, so it's like
Right. Right. Right.
so like
I will
that.
say I support you on the New Mexico pick. This is my upset central, I think, is this region because
Really, I don't have that many upsets this
I've
region. That's like
got,
the
I
only
mean,
one.
here's the thing. If I think if I there are two teams I typically don't bet against. Well, first of all, San Diego State. So if they win
Yeah.
tonight, excuse me, win tomorrow night, I will take them over Ole Miss because I just love the Aztecs. I mean, it's in the spirit of Steve Fisher now that I support the Az
Okay.
as well. And then I always do this too, no matter what, whoever the team is, I always take the Ivy League champion. So I'm going to take Yale over
Got to do it.
Texas A&M. I take the nerds, baby. I'm taking the nerds to win and beat an SEC team, a conference that got 13 teams in this thing. Unless that number's incorrect, it might be a little high. But didn't were there 13 teams that got in from the SEC?
I think it is that. It's like an absurd amount.
It's too many, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, man. What
But
about West Virginia?
I'm not, and that is just a farce that their whole state attorney general is going to
Oh
investigate
my
the NCAA.
gosh. Yeah.
Look, here's the deal. I saw the numbers of who the records, okay?
Yeah.
The records of these four teams. West Virginia, Indiana, Ohio State, North Carolina. And guess what? At all four of them, none of them should have been in. They should have picked up another mid-major. That was good. I'd rather take the Dons of San Francisco over any of those four teams being in the thing.
A little bit
So
of,
that's
yeah.
my opinion. That's my opinion.
I'm
Or you
with
could
you. Give the mid-majors more opportunities.
you could have taken UC Irvine, who played second place in the same conference as UC San Diego, and played them in the district and what's the district final and the conference final in the tournament. That would have been a better choice. They won 28 games this year. Why is that? I don't know. the whole thing's about quad one, then obviously it doesn't really matter. I mean, I think, in my opinion, I'd rather see teams with good records, even though they might not be as higher caliber, because it makes things intriguing and it's matchups you don't get all the time.
I'm
But
with you.
that's my
You're
opinion.
speaking my language. You know I love the little schools, which is why I always take the MAC champion for an upset. So looking over to the East region,
You're
I
taking
got Akron
Akron.
over Zona, baby. Sorry, Coach Rice. I don't think Zona's got it this year. You thinking about it? So
Hold on.
Akron's a 13 seed in the East side.
Okay, I just wanted to correct myself. 14 teams from the SEC, 14 of
One
them.
more than you thought. Good
Yes,
night.
because they have one of the first four. All right. I'm going to say that I wrote down Akron as well, and we're in the Midwest, aren't we?
East.
No,
We're in the East now.
we're in the East. Okay.
Top right.
So, yeah, I like Akron. I also like Liberty potentially over Oregon.
I have
I
both those.
I think those are both very intriguing to say the
Oh
least.
no, I have them both. I love to go big or go home on them. Like, come on. I think technically Baylor over Mississippi State is an upset, and I did take that just because I believe in the Baylor. Sometimes, like I just like to bet on the schools that I trust that program, and
Yeah,
Baylor is one of them. I don't trust Mississippi State's program. We've seen Baylor just kind of pull it out of nowhere. I mean, when they won the national championship that year, they weren't really a favorite. They just kind of
right.
won games. So
And I don't really, I guess I say it this way. I don't really count an 8, 9 games an upset.
me
If nine,
neither.
it's not. It's the same. And guess what? Statistically, nines have won more games in these matchups
I think
anyway.
it makes them mad. They're like, it's a little bit of motivation. It's like we should have been the eight.
Yes, it is. I mean, we should be the top seed. Why are we the bottom seed?
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
Exactly. Let me see. I was looking at that game. Okay, so the line right now, Arizona, Akron, Arizona by 13 and a half. I think Akron can cover, right?
Yeah.
And Oregon, they'll play that night at 10-10. Oregon's only favored by 6.5.
Oh, wow. So we're getting some,
Yeah,
there must be some motion on
you
Liberty.
could take Liberty on the money line right there to win,
Wow.
to say the least.
Okay.
But I mean, if you want to be gutsy,
I got one
but
more upset in the East region.
go ahead, go ahead. I don't
St.
think I
Mary's is a trendy pick, but I'm taking the Commodores.
know. Ooh,
Take Vandy.
I'm
You don't
taking the
like it.
I'm taking the Gales.
I understand. I feel like, see, we're going to flip down now, unless you have more upsets in that region. Do you have any more upsets?
I am looking at my list. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm trying to read.
I'm
What,
always very wary
oh,
of the upset everybody's in on. The upset that's like, oh man, don't dude, this is the team. Like
who's this? Who is this upset everybody?
McNeese. That's
Oh, yeah.
McNeese this year. Everybody wants McNeese. Everybody's like, McNeese is
We're in the
it.
Midwest, folks.
And like, McNeese is the good vibes team. I mean, the Amir Khan thing's fun. They're like a team manager. Like that's all fun and stuff like that. I get it. But I saw somebody that was like a video of a Clemson fan who he's like, please not McNeese. And then that's like McNeese is the team they're playing. He's like, no, no, man. Oh no. And I'm like, this is not that big of a deal. They're a good team. I don't think they're that. Like, am I wrong, Q?
They're 27-6.
I know. I always like a good record. I
Bill
must
Wade is
admit.
a good coach, even though he was buying people for
Yeah.
cases of hundreds before it was legal. Right now, Clemson's favored by 7.5. Um,
Clemson went to the Sweet 16 or Elite Eight last year?
I'm pretty sure, yes. I'm pretty sure.
Like
Clemson,
I'm saying, like I always
they're
like
never
that.
this good. They're never this good in basketball. This one's a 50-50 one. This is going to be one of those that I don't think I can call it until I get in the mode at 12 o'clock on Thursday when I'm probably going to fill this
Okay.
thing out
I'm
officially.
just saying, I'm always when it comes to March Madness, right?
Yeah.
I'm always wary of this is the obvious winner pick, which is
Right.
Florida this year, and it's UConn last year, but usually that
Auburn,
pick
the
doesn't win.
Auburn, is
I
Florida
think
the
Florida's taken over, man,
okay?
just because they
I
won
don't
the
know. I don't
SEC.
know. I don't know. I think
Yeah, like on ESPN, it says their most picked bracket, like their most picked winner is Duke, but that's a popularity thing more than anything else.
that's what I have on the tournament challenge. Yep.
And then second is the Gators. And Auburn's like 11%, and the Gators are like 20, I want to say. And
Mm.
I'm like, a 9% difference for a team that was super good all year. And like, not the Gators weren't good all year, but I'm saying obviously Auburn was better. And so it's just kind of absurd. The Gators have become the like, oh, I got the Gators. Like, it's the best pick, it's the obvious pick. And anytime a team is the obvious pick, pretty much ever since COVID, ever since 2020, it's like they put March Madness on like extra crazy mode. Like it's been like
Right.
more cracked out than ever. Like we every single what I think every year since COVID we've had a 1 or 2 seed lose first round.
Not first round,
I
probably
think we
first.
had within the first 2 rounds then,
Yeah.
which is
I,
like
yeah.
it's
He had Purdue, obviously.
yeah,
And
we're on a streak. Like it's but that was yeah, I'm saying it's like we went on a streak here. It's hot. Remember in Princeton like 2, 3 years ago? Like went to the Sweet 16?
yeah, that was, yes. And they would have been either
They
a
were
12 or a 13, I
yeah,
think.
but St.
Maybe a
Peter's. St.
14.
Peter's was a 15.
Yes, exactly.
And
Yeah.
like we've just seen, I think it's gotten more out, and I think a lot of it is I think the transfer portal and the NIL has actually made basketball somehow more competitive.
Yes, it has, because now you basically have parity between, because if you might be, even though you might be a 4 or 5 star recruit going to Kentucky and you're not happy, you might ship off to Wisconsin and you are find your role and then you play and you get and you become more successful
And then the
actually.
guy at Wisconsin took the role
And
of
you're the
is like, I'm
star.
out of here. And then he goes to
Right.
like an A10 school like VCU, and now VCU
Exactly.
is
And they
better. And it just
accept that.
trickles all the way down.
Does the trickle down. I hate trickle down economics, but damn it, it's working in NIL. So that's how it is. I will say I looked up the stats here, and the one seeds have been picked out of 66% of the champions selected on the ESPN Tournament Challenge app. So 66% of the picked champions are either Duke, Florida, Auburn, or Houston.
Well, I
So
don't think Houston's that good. I can tell you
I
that.
don't either. Now they've surprised us the last couple years. Uh,
But it's the same team every
I
year,
would
like
say
different players, but it's like super physical defense,
yes.
run as much as possible on offense. And I just don't, I mean, they're like, oh, that's the Houston ball. And that's great. I mean, it's winning basketball, but I don't think it's built well for a tournament
Right.
because I think you get tired because that level of ball is taxing.
Right.
And so I think that's why they lose. Like, I think they'll probably at most make the Elite Eight this year. And it's a good team. But I think the team with Marcus Sasser is
I
better.
haven't seen my I haven't I mean I will say I have not paid attention too much to the Big 12 this year. Obviously the bigger storyline was not even Houston being that good. It was that the bottom fell out for Kansas because they were at the top of their
Yeah.
game to start the year and then they just have not
Yeah.
lived up to what they were supposed to be. And I'm pretty
For
sure
sure.
they're a 7 seed for the tournament, I thought is what I saw. So
I'm just
uh,
saying, I always am wary of the this is the obvious pick team and the this is the obvious upset team. Those
right.
two I never try to pick. The only time the last couple of years that this is the obvious pick team won the national championship was last year.
Yes, because yeah, everybody knew they were going to go back to back. Yep.
Yep. But the thing was, Zaga in 21 was like the most obvious pick of all time. Like they were undefeated. It
Right.
was this incredible season. And they made it to the national championship and they lost.
They did, and they lost.
Like they're
They
one
barely
game short.
almost did it because UCLA tried to beat him in the Final Four.
That was a
But
hell of a game.
that
That's
was that
that's
was a
like a
great game.
certified hood classic game.
That
That
was
game was great.
that was
All
that
right.
was. I don't
Um,
think I have anything else in the East. I will say. I just want to make sure. We're down. I'm sorry. We were in the Midwest. In
yeah,
the
we're going. Let's
Midwest,
go to the Midwest because I was saying I do
Midwest.
not have McNeese. I do
You
not
were
have McNeese.
talking there. McNeese for you. I'm taking High Point over Purdue
Me
because
too.
I
I
also
think
don't
Purdue
trust
always
Purdue
blows
either.
it.
And here it is. We're living in Big Ten country.
Yep.
I mean, obviously, I'm a big Michigan State fan. I'm not trying to be a hater against my own Big Ten teams. It's just that I don't think some of these are tried and true, and they can win in big games.
No
That's my
man.
opinion.
No man. But I
I'm
like
gonna.
Illinois. I think Illinois is good.
They've recovered because they've gotten their better players back from injuries, and they've
Yeah.
actually won some bigger games.
They're a
So
bit of a
that
Jekyll and
was,
Hyde team. We've
they
seen them
are.
be
They
really
are.
bad, and we've also seen
Yeah.
them be like, "Wow, that's a good team." So
Yeah.
it's
Exactly.
just you're kind of if you're taking Illinois because I have Illinois. Oh, in my bracket, I have Illinois up to the Elite Eight, but there's also a chance they lose first round. But I honestly think they have Elite Eight ceiling. It's
Yeah.
just depends on what team shows up. So
Depends what team shows up. Exactly. And
yeah.
I'm not big on Kentucky anyway in this bracket because they've not really played that well this year either. So
No, I
that's
have them losing to Illinois. So like I said
yeah.
second round.
But I'll go down and I love the 7-10 matchups and I
Me
always
too. Me too.
I'm going to take Utah State
I have them
over
also.
UCLA because again another Big Ten team that I'm picking against. But I'm going to say that
They don't really count though.
I know, but they are in the
Like
Big
they're
Ten.
Big Ten, but like
They are the Big Ten. They're
they're
Big Ten
not.
West.
They're not. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's
Yeah.
it. It's I mean from our little town here in Cardington, I shouldn't drop our own town name, but We got Dollar General East, we got Dollar General West. So there you go. I mean, everybody went to East all the time. That's the original Big Ten. And then you got West popping up, and now sometimes you got to visit over there too. So that's
But
what
it's
it
like when
is.
someone says we're
That's,
going Dollar General, you're
that's
not thinking West. You're thinking East.
right. You're thinking East because now I got to because that Dollar General West represents our UCLA, USC, Oregon, and Washington
Yeah.
over there. So there it is.
It's
But
more like, oh yeah, that is there. Yeah.
right. Exactly.
That's Big Ten
I,
West.
I'm
I like it.
taking
It's
I'm
good.
taking Utah State over UCLA there in the bottom of the Midwest.
I also have that. This is a round two upset, but I wanted to say it. I have Zaga over Houston. This Zaga team I know is an eight seed. I just can't really bet against Mark Few. And it feels like every year we look at the trends. I feel like every Final Four the last couple years is this. It's like two schools you expected to be there, one school that you're like, I'm surprised they're here, but like it's a good program. Like it's a,
Right,
you know what I mean? Like it's a historical program. And then what the hell are you doing here, team?
right.
That to me has been the last couple Final Fours.
Yeah,
Gonzaga could be this is a historical program. It's like this team wasn't supposed to be that good, but good coaching, good vibes they got here.
right.
That
And
to
I
me would
I
be Zaga.
and I will say I'm with you on the upsetting of Houston, but I'm not with you with that game. I will be with it in the Sweet 16. I'm going to take Clemson
Okay,
over.
I like Clemson a lot. I like Clemson a lot. So,
Mhm.
but you're leaning towards no McNeese.
I'm leaning towards no McNeese. I just feel that sometimes I know as we started off this conversation, as in you just gotta take it and rip the band-aid off and take all the upsets you want.
Yeah,
But sometimes I feel I take too many upsets, and that's
yeah.
what gets
I
me.
get too excited also.
Okay.
Clemson's a fun team to me because I made a bracket early on this bracket because I'm talking about because I make one. I don't make 25 anymore. Like I just make one for each like group that wants to do it.
Hey, you got smart
hmm Well, it's not as fun when you're like, oh, I had that upset. It's like, yeah, but you had that upset, and
in
you're,
bracket 30 or
yeah,
whatever. Yeah.
exactly. It's just not as fun. You don't have like a genuine attachment to your picks.
Right.
So, originally in this bracket, this is my main bracket. I had Clemson in the Final Four, and I looked at it and I was like, I just can't
Oh,
do it. I can't do
ballsy.
it. I can't do it. So I made it Zaga, which might be worse, honestly.
That's even more ballsy.
But
Yeah.
it's like if I'm betting on somebody, I'm fine betting on Mark Few because it's like Zaga somehow always creeps in. It doesn't pass.
They do. Yeah, and obviously, right now, if you look at well, Kansas has the overall streak in
Mhm.
making consecutive March Madness tournaments. But if you look by coaches, it is Tom Izzo and then Mark Few, one right behind him. So,
Yep.
you got to respect Mark Few and his
Yep.
coaching
Well,
ability to
what
make.
is it? I just saw the graphic today. It's like most consecutive appearances. It's like Kansas, Michigan State, and Zaga. And then
Yes,
it's a
exactly.
huge gap. And then Purdue
35,
at 10.
27. Yeah, it's 35, 27, 26, and then 10 for Purdue.
Yeah.
So,
It's like
yeah,
basically a top three and then everybody else.
yeah.
All right. Wrapping up this region, I have my biggest upset of the entire tournament. I have taken this upset in
In the
every
Midwest.
bracket.
In the
Yeah.
Midwest.
I've taken this upset in every bracket because if it's probably not going to happen, but if it does, I got to be able to say that I called it. So I take it in every single one I've made, all four. This upset also is one that I genuinely actually believe it because I didn't trust this team anyway. And so I was like, you know what? To hell with it. We're just going to have Tennessee lose to Wofford in the first round. I don't think his Tennessee team's that good anyway. So I'm like, you know what? You might as well just
I
double
don't either.
down.
I'll
Double
say I don't
down.
know who I'm taking to the Final Four out of this regional yet,
That's the worst
but
region. That Midwest is the worst
it's
region.
hard. It's hard, and I will say, Wofford's got that guy that shoots the free throws.
Yep.
Let's call it an untraditional style, is
Yep.
what I'm saying that way.
Yeah, I've shot on traditional free throws.
Yes, but you still shot him normally, even though you shot him from the corners of the free throw
True,
line.
true, true. Yeah, we got a little bit of alignment.
So
No,
I
I'm
don't
saying
know. I
Wofford,
don't.
there's a chance. I mean, if there's any
There is
one
a
or two
chance.
seed to get upset, it's them.
And I don't know. Yeah, I don't know who I'm going to take as. I was thinking of maybe a battle of the orange, in my opinion, in the Elite Eight, which would be Tennessee Clemson. But I don't know exactly. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, actually. It's going to be another one of those times where I'm just going to punt it until about
All right.
7:45 uh, Thursday morning. And then I'll figure
Okay.
out, ooh,
Okay.
what
You'll
I'm
have to
going to.
send me your men's because we don't have a men's group. We have a women's group. We don't have men's. So
You
send me
can
your men's.
join mine.
Oh, okay, yeah, I can do that.
Bucks, $2, $10 to get in my work one if you want to go.
I
You
might
want to?
have to. I might have to take you up on that, Q.
Yep, I got Venmo.
All right.
Someone.
I don't, but I'll just give you cash.
That's fine. You can send me a check in the mail.
So it's good.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out.
$10 check.
Hey, I write checks for $5.
Are you serious?
Yes, out of the
All
business. I mean, this
right. I
happens.
get it. Okay. All
Right.
right.
Wolford, who's 19 and 15. All right. Won their
Rough. It's a rough one. You're going strictly vibes, like just
they
strictly off
are because
vibes.
they went 10 and 8 in their regular season, and they ended up upsetting and winning. And I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know what's.
It's just pure vibes.
I was trying to look for the line. That's what I was missing before I looked on theirs. The line is 18 and a half.
It's not
Favoring.
absurd.
Not absurd.
Not absurd.
No, it's only 10 possessions if you're by twos. It's only 7 possessions if you're by
Hey,
three.
Wofford shoots better from the field and averages more points a game.
Okay.
There's
So
some real numbers.
that's some sketchy shit right there. As in, can Tennessee hold them together?
Now,
I don't know.
granted, those numbers are like point zero. You know, it's not much, but it's something. 75.3 per game to 74.7, and then 45% point something to
This is
45.
mathematical indifference. They are probably similar.
But if they're similar, there's a chance Wofford can win.
This is true. This is true. I won't disagree with that. So,
That's my point. And the defense from Tennessee is the thing with 62.3 opponent
oh, then
points
yeah.
per
So if
game.
they can hold them, yes. But if Wofford can have this game up to 70, 75, they got a chance to win.
Need a chance to win. All right, let's go to our last region.
Yes, I want, yeah. Flipping over to the West on the bottom left for those following at home. I've only got two, and I'm gonna double back into picking the same team for an upset as we did in the women's, which is I'm taking Grand Canyon over the Turtles in Maryland.
Oh, okay. See, I like Maryland, so I don't do it. I didn't do it.
Oh, okay, so I'm gonna take Grand Canyon,
I think
and
Maryland's
I'm
good.
just gonna go that game, that slot right down from there before. I'm always high on the Missouri Valley Conference champions, and that's Drake, so I'm gonna take Drake over Missouri.
Drake is dangerously becoming the, oh, you got to pick this upset team.
Yes. It used to be Wichita State and Creighton for that
Yep.
conference, and then Creighton left. So,
Yep. Now it's, yeah, Drake's really become that.
mhm.
I remember one year I made a bracket as a joke that had Drake. Well, not as a joke. It was a pretty, no, it was my second bracket. It was like my one, I cared about it. I made Drake the winner just so I could name it the Drake League. It's a pretty good bracket name. I was pretty proud of them. But I took Drake as an upset also.
Okay.
They are on sleeper, they're picked 62% of the time. Like they are more popular of a pick than Missouri. So
Mhm.
I took Maryland over Grand Canyon. Man, I got Maryland being the one to take off Florida. I think Maryland's good.
Oh, you do.
Yeah, I think Maryland's good. Like really
Okay.
good. But I've also my backup bracket, I have UConn beating Florida. I think Florida's beatable. It's a hot team. I get it.
True.
But you have to go through UConn or Maryland or Texas Tech or Drake or St. John's to get to the Final Four when you're Florida. Is there
Yes.
any team that has a better region? I don't think so.
I would say
Like Texas Tech's the highest ranked
that's
three seed.
probably the West is probably the most competitive out of the top four seeds, to say the least.
That's what I'm saying. And UConn's there.
Right.
Like, which it's they're ranked eight, just like Zaga. To me, it's the same thing where it's like, yeah, it's not as good as a team, but like
But
it's
they're
Dan Hurley UConn. I can't really
right.
bet against
Right.
that.
They could win. Yeah, they could beat Florida. Exactly.
Like that game should be like at 7 o'clock. It's gotta be.
Oh, it will be.
It's be a good one. Be a good one.
Yeah, it's Sunday. It's Sunday night. So
I
if
don't
it,
consider 10-7 an upset. I have Arkansas just because I want to see Patino versus Calipari.
I didn't think about that. Yeah,
That'd be fun.
would be.
I have Colorado State over Memphis.
I thought about them too, but I feel like I'm taking too many 12 seeds because I've taken Liberty and UC San Diego, so I didn't want to take 3 12 seeds to win.
Yeah, how many do I have? I
Let's
just
see.
have the one. I'm fine. This will makes it two. So we're okay.
Oh, you're good. You
Half.
haven't you hadn't hit your quota yet. You're
Yeah, no,
good.
no. You get half. You can do two. You can do two. Then you're cut off after that. We're done.
Yes. 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 Yes.
All right.
Yeah. I have no other upsets in that region other than those two.
All right. So Q, every year at March Madness, I pick one team to rock with that I'm cheering to win it all. And that's
All
usually my
right.
national champion pick.
And who
So
is it?
last year it was NC State. That is probably the best I've ever done. Picked a 12 seed and they went to the Final
Who
Four.
to the Final Four?
I picked him to the national championship. They went to the Final Four. I was like, I just went because I thought DJ Burns was fun.
Right.
Like that was
Right.
it. Best I'll probably ever do. 2 years ago it was Kansas State. That was such a fun team. Marquise Noel,
Yeah, I wasn't
Quincy
happy about
Johnson,
that one, Ryan.
Johnston.
Wasn't happy about
Oh, I
that.
understand, but it was a fun team for me.
Yeah, fun for you. Not fun for me. When I forget what I had done that night. I'm gonna have to get my calendar because I was not home watching that game.
Really?
Let me
Surprises me.
20 Sunday was what?
This Sunday? This
Okay,
Sunday?
I got it. Okay. This is what happened. I found it on my calendar already. March 23rd, 2023.
22. Oh, 23. Yeah, 23, 23.
3 was the year, was that. I had went to a show with a friend
Okay.
and I didn't look at my phone. I didn't do anything. I didn't want to see the score. So I came all the way home and watched the whole game and watched us lose in overtime. I didn't
Wow.
want to know. I wanted to just I wanted to hold it out. So that
Yeah.
was upsetting.
See, as somebody who doesn't have like a favorite college basketball team, I just pick one year to year that I'm going to follow. And they're my guys.
Right.
So it makes it real easy. Like this year, there's some strong candidates. Like I'm rooting for Wisconsin. I like Wisconsin.
Yeah,
It
I'm not
also helps if I have a history, right? Like my first team that was like this was the Frank Kaminsky, Sam Decker, Bronson
yes.
Koenig,
Yep,
who else on that
2014
roster?
Wisconsin.
Nigel Hayes, 2015, 2014, 2015 Wisconsin, right? Then a little bit. I mean, there was other teams I liked, but um, had a really loved 2021 Illinois. So I got a soft spot for Illinois. Like to see them do well. 2021 Illinois was a heartbreaker though, losing to Loyola in the second round. Oh man, that was a tough one. Ayo Sumo and Bruno something. I can't remember his last name. And then of course Kofi Coburn.
Yes.
Um, but this year, some good candidates. Maryland was close. St. John's is second. I
Mm,
really like St. John's. Just a team that plays tough defense. I think it's fun when New York has a team like New York City, right?
yeah.
But it's Sparty. Sparty's the one this year.
You're hopping on the
I'm rolling.
bandwagon.
I'm rolling with you. I think I like that. I just really, if they lost, okay, just like if they would have won the Big Ten, probably would have been a one
We
seed.
did win the Big Ten regular season.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If they won the tournament Big Ten, they probably could have been a one seed,
Oh, they would have been a 1 seed.
right? Did they take Florida's spot or Auburn's?
I think you probably would have moved up Duke or Houston to the top bracket and put Michigan State in one of those,
Yeah, yeah.
in my
So
opinion.
maybe
But
Florida's
really, I'm going to
two seed.
say, as a fan, this is going to be a very biased opinion, even this is a very unbiased show.
What is it?
I think that Michigan State has the best path to make it to the Final Four, in my opinion, because Auburn has lost 3 of 4.
Auburn's faltering.
Iowa State is suffering from an injury to their one of their top players.
Yep.
So really, it's time for the best month of the year, and that's Izzo. That's it. It's not March. It's Izzo, and he's gonna make it to his 9th Final for this year. And I think in the end all be all, I think he's going to win the AP Coach of the Year award as
Yep.
well when
Yep.
everything is crowned. I think this has been his best coaching job in all 30 years of his career, just because this team really has no defined leading scorer. The rise of Jace Richardson, the son of Jason Richardson, who played for Tom Izzo, went to the Final Four. His one and only year he played under Tom, I think is going to inhabit the role of leader in this tournament. And I can't wait. And I think they'll make the Final Four. It's my opinion.
I'm with you, dude. Like I think this is a really fun team. Um, like I said, if they would have been a one seed, I don't think they'd have been my like team I'd rock with. I probably would have rocked with St. John's, just because I think they would have been a more popular pick
Right.
to be. But because like people were like, oh, I'm out on Michigan State, and so because then I'm like, nah, I'm really in now. Like I don't want to follow the team everybody's with. Like it can't be. So I think St. John's has been my team, but it's Michigan this year, and whatever one is my team, I just take the win the natty because why? You're not gonna predict it right anyway. So why why take the boring pick? Now, granted, maybe you do get it right like last year of UConn, but was it really worth it? Was it really fun to have to root for UConn the whole way? No, it was not.
See, but the strategy is if you don't if you I don't know how however you fill out your bracket if you do it on paper, well, it's not as fun. But if you do it on CBS, it's not
Paper's
as
the most fun in my opinion.
fine. But I like the scoring system on
No, no, I like
ESPN.
scoring just bigger wrong. I just like paper. There's something special about having the paper in your hand and then
Yes, okay,
you're
yes, okay.
highlighting and you're crossing
Okay, I
off.
should
It's
say, no matter
good.
what format you're filling your bracket out on, I don't care. And however you're entering your pool to get in on this, whether it's at work or at school or whatever, the key to success is just rooting that your four Final Four teams make it to the Final Four because that means you'd win. You're
Yep.
gonna win everything
Yep.
because the smaller games are only 10 points apiece. But as you go up, it doubles, 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 and you want to get everything there into the Final Four because those teams are going to generate, let's see, 10, 20, 40, and then 80 points. So right, they're going to generate 150 just getting to the Final Four.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
it.
and that's why I always get in trouble is because I love my upsets, just like this year. Like, let's say if Tennessee goes on a run, most people probably have them like Sweet 16 Elite Eight. I got them losing to Wofford.
But
So,
then you gotta hope that they lose the next game, so then they don't.
yeah. I'm
I,
saying
I
that's why I don't think I've ever won a March Madness bracket challenge. Even last year when I had NC State, it was a great pick, but everybody else took UConn.
I've won twice, but the groups were small. I mean, the groups were five or six.
Okay. Okay.
So now last year my work one we had 27 involved. Now there's only six registered for now. It's Tuesday. We've got till Thursday.
I'll hop in. I'll hop in.
No, but I'm hoping that I mean, it makes it intriguing because now you have so many more participants
Yeah.
instead. So
I feel
that's it.
like the last couple of years, it's really popped off of like oh, who cares? Just fill one out. Like it's really not for basketball fans. It's just for everybody at this point.
It is. It's for anybody and everybody. It's very
Because
inclusive, to say
it
the least.
is, and I don't think it was always that way. Like I remember being that way when I was younger. Like not everybody was just doing it.
Right. Right.
I think it was the last couple of years. They've really done a good job of the marketing, just being like, everyone fill one out, no
I
matter if
agree.
you care or not.
I think the parody helps that too, as
It
well.
does. The crazier upsets, and it's like I had Princeton because I thought the orange
Right,
logo was cool, and
right,
now
right.
your mom who doesn't know anything. Not like my mom, but I'm saying an example of like someone's mom, because my mom actually does watch the basketball. She'd be upset.
Stacy's mom.
Mom took Michigan State, for what it's worth.
Your
My mom.
mom?
Yeah,
What about Stacy's mom?
I don't know what Stacy's mom did. She's got it going on though.
She does.
All right,
Does.
Final Four Q, and then national champion. Let's hear it.
All right. Well, first of all, we're going to start in the top left in the South, and now I'm going to take Michigan State to the Final Four. Go to the bottom left in the West. I'm taking St. John's. In the East, I think I'm going to ride with Duke for now. I'm riding with Duke, and in the Midwest, don't know yet. I'm kind of torn. I
Q,
think I'm going to.
that's what you just did is exactly what I have. I have Michigan State, St. John's, Duke, and I feel like that Midwest is so hard
It's
because I don't
hard.
really like Houston
I don't like
and I
Houston.
don't like Tennessee at all because I mean
Right.
I got Wofford beating them, and then it's like the three seed there is Kentucky, and I don't
Kentucky.
think they're
I
that
don't
good.
trust them either.
It's really a hard
I
one to pick.
I think I'm going to settle. I'm still gonna. I'm probably. My prediction will be to the Elite Eight. My prediction will be that it's going to be the Battle of the Orange,
Tennessee,
Tennessee,
Clemson.
and I'm
Okay.
going to take Tennessee to the Final Four because I don't know if Clemson can make it to the Final Four. So that's going to be shocks you, I know, but I just for some reason I'm going to take Rick
Okay.
Barnes and trust his coaching ability and get them in
Okay.
because I think their pathway is going to be cleared a little bit because I don't know if I mean I think we'll have another battle of the Orange before then, which will be Tennessee, Illinois
Mm-hmm.
in the
Fighting
Sweet.
Illini.
Yes.
All right. I do have, so my brackets, I have one that has St. John's winning the national championship, one that has Duke, just so I could name it Dookie on my shoe.
Yep.
And then I got two with this team. My national champion, I got Michigan State over Duke. Rematch of the Zion Williamson Cassius Winston Elite
2019.
Eight Classic.
Yep, I love that. And the best thing is right now, if you have Big Ten Network, anybody out there in the world, that they play the classics right now as we lead up.
Really?
tournament classics are on, so they'll play Michigan State classics, Purdue classics, all that. So that's always one of them they play. So I always have to, always got to
A
tune
lot of
in for
Aaron
that.
Kraft on there. I was a big Aaron Kraft when I was younger.
Yes, there's some older ones on there they'll have for Ohio State and all that. But I will say, yeah, because Michigan State, I think they played the national championship in 2000. They
2013. They played
hmm,
2013. You're looking at me.
I'm trying to think. I don't know if we did anything in 2013.
I thought Michigan State went pretty far that year.
No, not in 2013.
Who played Louisville in the national championship that year?
Michigan did.
Oh,
Michigan.
that's why I was doing it. My bad.
So but they'll play the 2015 uh Elite Eight
Yep.
is Louisville to get into the Final Four that year.
Do you
Um,
guys okay in that Final Four? Because I'm trying to remember. Did you guys play Wisconsin or did you play Duke?
we played Duke.
You played Duke because Wisconsin had to play Kentucky, and everybody thought Wisconsin was going to
Right. We
lose.
lost by 10. Yeah, to Duke. But um they'll
Yeah, the Duke
play
team was nuts.
also trying to think who else. They like to play the 2005. 2005 run was great too to the Final Four because
Okay,
this is the first win for Tom Izzo over Duke and Mike Krzyzewski, and it happened in the Sweet 16 that year.
and it ended up
First
kind of becoming a thing, like
ever,
those two. Yeah.
ever. And then he had to beat Kentucky in the Elite Eight to make it to the Final Four.
Wow.
So that was a big year
Yeah.
that year.
It would be really sweet if our lineup for the Final Four was Patino versus Izzo on one side, and then Duke's
That's
new coach Shire, right?
yep. John Shaw.
Shire, and then I don't know whoever the hell we're gonna take out of the Midwest. I got Zaga, Mark Few would be fun, but that's a good set of coaches.
Right, it is a good set of
But I
coaches.
love I love Auburn's coach. I would love to see him. It just sucks that they're in the Michigan State sector, or else I would have taken Auburn.
Right, and they're just downtrending right now. So I mean,
Never a good sign.
see how well they play, and if they do win, they've got to play either Louisville or Creighton. I mean, I can see Greg McDermott
Yeah.
winning that game,
Yeah.
leading his troops. So
Well, and my issue with Auburn too is 2 years back, well, 3 years back, they had an incredible team with Jabari Smith Jr. That team was
yes,
nuts. And then like what, second round loss? Sweet 16? They didn't go very far.
can't remember.
They did not go far though.
Let me look
Yeah, that team disappointed. And then, like that year, I just remember being like, look, I like that Auburn coach, but like it's undeniable that he just takes some tournament losses.
because the last three tournaments they've been in, it was round of 32, round of 32, round of 64. So they've not went anywhere. I think they made to the Final Four the same year Michigan State did, 2019.
Yeah, they did because that team was super fun. I
They
liked
beat
that team a
they
lot.
beat Kentucky.
Yep.
And because I was over at Grandma and Grandpa's, and my grandpa is from Eastern Kentucky, for those
Hmm.
listening, and big Blue Nation fan. And they lost at the 220 slot, and then Michigan State won at the 5 o'clock slot.
Yep.
So well, somebody was happy in that house, and it was me. So,
Yeah, that
but
was that national championship. Virginia winning that. It was such a good tournament. And then one seed Virginia wins it. And it was kind of like
which is the ultimate revenge because the year before they got beat by UN.
that was cool. That was cool. But also like I feel like that Virginia team, not a lot of legacy there. No one talks about the Virginia team.
No,
I think
no.
about like
I'd
teams in
rather
my
talk
life
about
that people
Virginia. They're talking
teams
about
that,
Virginia losing to Furman.
yeah, no, exactly. I mean, the teams in my life that I feel like people really talk about a lot as far as national champions only. Not like, oh, that's because people still talk about like St. Peter's and those type of guys, but like national champions. The
Right.
one we still talk about the most are both Villanova teams.
Yes. Yes.
18 and 16, both of them.
Right. Right.
Like,
And
and
talk
it's
about I would talking about a someone that is the national runner-up. I like talking about those Butler teams
yeah,
because they made
yeah,
it back to back with Gordon Hayward, and they really should have beat Duke the second time.
yeah.
Um, but
It'll be interesting. We barely touched on Duke. I think we're both like, yeah, really good, but I think it
I mean, the
always
question will
seems
be, I don't know, as I mean, have what's the rumors on Cooper Flag? I mean, is
I
he
think he's
all
going to be good to go.
okay?
That's what it's seeming like, but I don't know. Maybe it's what
Yeah.
we want. They want us to think. I mean, it's clearly an absurdly good team. Like it's a really good Duke team, and I think Shire kind of proved himself just because like I was like, I don't know if this guy's really that good. He's just kind of getting recruits off the Duke branding. But then this year he's shown like, he really knows what he's doing. They won the ACC championship without Cooper Flag. Like pretty absurd. So I think he's proven himself. I think it's an interesting team, but I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I feel
Yeah,
like they smell like the Zion team, where I'm like, this team is incredible. How could they lose? And then they go super far, but they're just like one or two games short, just like the Zion team. I feel like, I don't
and
know.
everybody in that run, obviously Duke was overall number one seed that year, but everybody in that run was right on them every
Hmm.
game. It just finally took Michigan State to beat them
Yep.
because really UCF should have beat
UCF almost beat
the
them.
round of 32.
Crazy.
Taco,
Taco
Taco.
Fall.
I mean, I think he got, in my opinion, he got screwed on a couple calls because he was tall. I hate it when referees, and as a former referee myself, you don't punish somebody just because they're bigger or taller. I mean,
Yeah.
there was a lot of legal defense there that he got called fouls on for. So that's my opinion. But
All right. So national champion pick and Final Four.
oh, I think I won't take my own team. I'll take St. John's to win that side of the bracket. And then I think I'm going to take Duke. I'm going to take Patino to bring home the championship.
Wow. I
That's
really hope this St. John's thing sticks around. Like, I hope he kind of just makes it into like a blue blood program. That'd be really cool.
I call them new bloods, not blue bloods. But yes.
New bloods. I would like that. I think it's fun. The Red Storm. I mean, and what's cool about it, it's a historic. It was a team that used to be good long ago, and now they're
Yes,
like kind
that's
of
solid.
resurfacing. It's really fun, and,
Yep.
and also it's cool to have like like I said, a New York City basketball team since basketball's so big there. Um, Other thing with St. John's, I want to state real quick, Q. Interesting one. They're going to definitely bring up. Haven't won an NCAA tournament game in 25 years.
Oh, they haven't, huh?
They haven't won an NCAA tournament game since 2000. And they could potentially be like they're probably top 8 in national championship odds, and they haven't won an NCAA tournament game since 2000. You and I weren't alive
They were
last
a
time
two seed then and got upset in the second round.
in 2000.
Mhm.
Wow. I'm saying like,
I'll let history repeat itself today.
oh, well, it'll be Saturday, right? I think they play Thursday.
They play Thursday, or well, I we believe they play Thursday.
Yeah, I think they play Thursday. I don't have the schedule memorized. It's not like the NFL where pretty much week to week I memorize the schedule.
Yeah.
All right, Q. Do you want to check back in next week, or do you want to just let me roll from here?
Oh, well, let me look at the little calendar. You never know. The calendar's busy, but
Well, how about we'll just see what it looks like next week for you? All right. See you, Q.
hey,
Thanks, bud.
see ya. This is fun.